put in here. All right, I got someone joining me. When you get on, say hey, so I know it's working. We're going like this instead of like this tonight because you guys need to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay. So, I'm in my bathroom, so there may be a little bit more of an echo today. But that's because I needed to be in here because this is where all my stuff is for doing the Slim and Sassy wrap. And hey, Janice and Laverne. Okay, so I'm gonna wait just like 1 minute. I'm gonna get my book open and my notes. One of these days, maybe I'll memorize everything about every oil, and then I won't need my book. You think that's possible? I don't know. So tonight, I'm going to talk about the Slim and Sassy wrap. I get asked about this a lot, and so I thought, you know what? It deserves its own training. So I got my stuff. I got my oils. I'm going to show you a little bit about the oils that are in it. I'm going to show you, I already have my mixture mixed, so I'm not going to make a new one for you, sorry. And then we have plastic. And I have my ace, okay? So I'm gonna be moving around a little bit, so I may leave the camera for a few seconds as I'm reaching for things. So if you're joining me and you don't know who I am, my name is Jennifer Davis and I run this group. This group is for members only. So if you happen to be in my Make Me Oily group, which is for non-members, those are the people that want to know about oils, but they haven't set up a doTERRA account, then they actually got a little taste of this because I was kind of seeing how it would look on video. And of course, here in a little bit, you guys are going to see my belly. And so I'm like, I can't believe I'm letting you guys see my belly. So I just kind of want to test the waters last week with that. And so this week, you guys are going to get the full thing. So I just basically showed them last week how it works, but you guys are going to get the education. That's something that I only give you because you guys are special. And I see I have some more folks. So hey, Heather. Hey, Nicole. Yes, this is going to be fun. I am having a really good day. So if I'm really chipper and excited, that's probably why. And it's going to get worse once I get these oils on me. So in the Slim and Sassy wrap, and I shared the graphic, so you guys have the recipe. I'll share it again here, but it's probably, yeah, so it should be in the photo album as well because of the last post that I did. So there are 6 oils in this, and let's see, I got them all out. And so what you're gonna need is either a glass, a spray bottle like this. This is what I used to use. This is my old Slim and Sassy mixture. You can tell it's gone. And then this is actually what I'm using now because when doTERRA came out with these pumps, I love these pumps because the spray, when you're spraying it on your belly, you're like upside down, and so you kind of have to like try and spray it upright, and it's really hard to do. So I love the pump because I can either squeeze it out on my stomach or I can just put it in my hand. I'm gonna lower my thing a little bit. There we go, that's better. So you can do either or. This is actually just an empty fractionated coconut oil bottle, okay? The plastic on this is graded okay for essential oils. It's not gonna break down. And in here I have the 6 oils and then fractionated coconut oil, and I only do half up the top. So what I do is, okay, so the recipe is 40 drops Slim and Sassy. So 40 drops Slim and Sassy. And then we've got 15 drops eucalyptus, 15 drops. And then we have wintergreen, and there is 15 drops in that. And then we have peppermint, 10 drops. And you don't need more than 10 drops because it's pretty exciting already with the other oils. And then we have lavender, which I didn't grab my lavender. Yeah, I don't even know where my lavender ran off to. Oh, here it is. I knew there'd be one in my bathroom. Lavender, we have 10 drops of that. And then grapefruit, 10 drops. And then the recipe calls for 5 drops of cypress, but when I tell you what cypress is good for, you'll probably want more, okay? And cypress is pretty, it's not a strong oil, so it doesn't like hurt you. Okay, so then we put our fractionated coconut oil, and I only fill it up halfway, mainly because I still want to feel the sensation of the essential oils on my skin, and I feel like if you go up too much, you're too diluted. Okay, so let's talk about what these oils are good for. Okay, so first we have Slim and Sassy. So Slim and Sassy's uses are appetite suppressant, we have cellulite, obesity, overeating, and weight loss. But did you know that Slim and Sassy is good for emotional food cravings? So for those of you that, you know, you can do the diets, you can eat the right food, but it's hard because you're emotionally dealing with food issues. Maybe when you were a kid, somebody traumatized you with food. It's funny, I know people who've had like, I'm gonna just share my husband's story. So one time when he was little, his mom was like, I'm not gonna have picky eaters and you're gonna eat all that food on your plate. And that just did something in his brain so that he actually has a hard time with leftovers. So the Slim and Sassy is really great for emotional food issues. So it is also going to be, and I'm just gonna read little bits of this. The oils that are in it are going to be good for cellulite, digestion, invigoration, enhancing digestion, digestive system, digestive, so we got a lot of digestive, you see that? And then improving circulation and energy levels. So in Slim and Sassy, we have grapefruit, we have lemon, we have peppermint, we have ginger, and we have cinnamon. It's a very unique blend. And in fact, one of the ways that I like to use Slim and Sassy is just on my tongue because it's formulated to help with sugar cravings. So I think I gave Slim and Sassy its due diligence in another video that I did, but I just kind of go like this and then put some on my tongue, and then I'll drink some water. So I'm not even getting a full drop. And do that when you're craving those chocolate chip cookies or those potato chips or that Dr. Pepper. So you see I'm talking to myself here. Those things that aren't good for you. And so that's what I do with that Slim and Sassy. So on the skin, it's helping with those things because you're using it topically. Also Slim and Sassy, because of what's in it, is really great at managing your toxic load. So whether you put in a capsule, you put in your water, or you put it on your skin, it's going to help you with that. Okay, so let me go to the next oil, which is eucalyptus. And the main notes that I wrote down is it's a vasodilator. What that means is it opens up your blood vessels, okay? Peppermint does the same thing, but eucalyptus does it even better. And what that is going to allow is for all of those oils that you're putting on your skin, the eucalyptus and the peppermint is the driver that's going to make those oils work better. It's also good for pain relief, and it's a mild, well, not a mild, it is an expectorant, so in your gut where you have all that mucus that's helping that food digest, if you have an over amount of it, it can help to kind of thin that stuff out. So let me go to my eucalyptus page and just kind of go over some of the other things it's good for. So it's good for inflammation, hypoglycemia, kidney stones, over-exercised muscles. Of course, it's good for anything respiratory. Let's see, diabetes. Sorry, I'm going to say a lot tonight, okay? Oh, and also this is the other thing I thought was really interesting. It's a nasal mucus membrane. Well, it's used for this. Nasal mucous membrane inflammation, but we have similar membranes in our digestive system as well. So just keep that in mind. It's going to help with that. Okay, so that is eucalyptus. The next oil is wintergreen, and we know wintergreen is really good for pain, right? That's the thing that we all know. It's in our deep blue. The synthetic version of it is what they use to flavor gums and toothpaste. So that's what we kind of know wintergreen for. And what I love about the wintergreen that we have is that when you apply it, it's not especially cooling. Like you wouldn't think that because it's in deep blue, you would think it was very cooling, but wintergreen is actually kind of warming. Okay, so wintergreen is good for arthritic pain, bone spurs, cartilage injury for us mamas who've had babies, dandruff, frozen shoulder, joint pain, muscle development, muscle tone. So you see, you got a theme there. It's good for those muscles, okay? And so we have muscles in our belly, and if you're a good person and you're really good with your exercise, I say that kind of like, you know, jokingly, because you know how hard that is to do that. But one of the things that I was doing, because I started wanting to like get rid of my baby body from having my son over a year ago, yeah, I know, I'm taking a little while, was doing those crunches and doing those like lower core kind of exercises, and I do it while I'm wearing the wrap. And what's really interesting is, since I haven't done a crunch or a sit-up in probably years, you think I would be really sore, but I wasn't. I was shockingly not very sore. I had a little bit in the lower muscles, but I also had injury, a pelvic floor injury from having my last baby, so I think I was feeling that a little bit. But after doing some research on some of these oils and knowing that I had a weak pelvic floor from having my last child, of course, I was like, this totally makes sense. It's not just about slimming for me, it's also about what's going on inside of my body and all that fascia and all those smooth muscles that are really weak. And I noticed these oils are going to help that as well. So wintergreen, the notes that I have on that is mostly good for your muscle tone and also your lymphatic system. So if you do dry brushing beforehand and you brush up towards the heart, it's going to help support or encourage the decongestive lymphatic, I'm trying to say this right, decongest your lymphatic system. So it's a lymphatic decongester. Sorry, trying to get these words out tonight. So there's that one. So let's talk about peppermint. So peppermint, we know, is invigorating, it's stimulating. So again, all these oils that we're using, it's just automatically gonna make those work a little bit better. It's an antispasmodic. So in my case, doing the crunches and doing the other exercises, I can share with you guys. I found on Pinterest what I'm doing. It's like exercises for belly fat or something. And I can send you guys some of the graphics that I was going off of and some of the things I was doing. And the antispasmodic I thought was really helpful, because if you are the kind of person that you get those spasms really easily, then that peppermint's gonna help. Also, peppermint's really good for endurance. So that was also helpful as well in my case. And I noticed I was able to do some things that I really didn't think I was gonna be able to do. Okay, so lavender. This is the cool one. Lavender is really good for stretch marks. Did you know that? You know, so when we talk about wound care and we use lavender, lavender helps with that tissue, helping it be more healthy, more supple, so that it can heal. And so when you have stretch marks, it can help to reduce that appearance. It's also a oil for water retention and then gas and bloating as well. And you know, most of our belly issues are going to be gas and bloating and water retention. And so grapefruit is an appetite suppressant. It's also a lymphatic decongestant. There, I got it out right that time. It's also slimming and toning, and it's known for helping to reduce the appearance of cellulite. Did I get your attention? So that one was kind of exciting for me. I was really, that one right there sold me on this wrap. And then of course, water retention. And so then the last oil is cypress. Oh, let me just say, grapefruit is really good for the liver. It's also got some uses for things like kidney and gallbladder and gallstones and stuff like that. So the grapefruit is really good for a lot of things. So cypress. Cypress is often a forgotten oil, and it shouldn't be, because when you're dealing with the skin, cypress is really amazing. It's in the AromaTouch blend. So if you love AromaTouch, you're using it for things like varicose veins or circulatory pain. So cypress is also good for those things. It's good for circulation, lymphatic decongestant again, Muscle Tone, it's a skin revitalizer, which that was really interesting because I noticed when I started using this recipe versus what I had used before, my skin felt really soft when I was done. And I left it on for 2 hours. It's good for varicose veins, strengthening those connective tissues. For us ladies who have had babies, you have that separation in between your abs, help strengthen those connective tissues as you're doing your physical therapy for that. So if you're doing physical therapy for pelvic floor, or if you're like, Jennifer, I have no idea what that means. If you've had kids, you probably need to do it. Then it can help with that while you're doing those specific exercises. Muscle cramps and also scars is what cypress is good for. Okay, so now that we've talked about those oils and they're in my bottle, let me show you how I do this. And actually, I forgot something, so hang on a second while I get it. All right, I'm back. Okay. Now, I'm going to overcome my fears and let you guys see. Let me put this on. We're all supportive in here, right? No body shaming allowed. Remember, I had a baby last year. Is that an excuse? Okay, I'm going to put my camera down just a little bit so you guys can see what's going on a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so the comments are in the way. I'm going to swipe them out of my way so I can see. And you may have to do the same. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get the oil on and then we're going to wrap. So I'm going to lift my shirt up. I don't look too bad. I've been using this wrap about the last 2 weeks. So what I'm trying to do is, and I'm standing up straight, I wanted to deal with this right here. So if I kind of relax myself, it hangs over my pants. That's new for me. 4 babies. Took that long. And then this right here, see how that's kind of like loose? And it's kind of, gravity is kind of doing its thing right there. So what I wanted to do was kind of just trim that up. So what was really interesting when I discovered this wrap was after I had my 3rd baby, and I wanted to fit into this slim dress. For the convention, actually, it was gala, and I looked 6 months pregnant when I put it on. Well, I wasn't 6 months pregnant. So I was like, okay, I tried the wrap 2 times. I looked a lot slimmer. Of course, my recipe was different, and I will share with you the recipe that I used, and I feel like it did it faster. But this way, I feel like it's healthier, and it will last. Because when I did it 3 weeks later, it was back. So what I'm going to do is just put these oils on the part of my body, and you get yourself pretty greased up, okay? You don't want it to absorb too quickly. My pants are probably going to get oil on it. That's okay. Normally you would do this maybe with your underwear on. And the back. Okay. Okay, so a couple of contraindications. Not if you're pregnant. And I personally believe that mommies or postpartum really shouldn't do this, mainly because we need our fluff. Where are we going to set our babies, right? Okay, so I'm pretty oiled up. I got lots of oil on me. So I'm just going to try and rub that in a little bit more. So then what I do, so we talked about dry brushing. I actually like to use my fascia blaster, and I'll just kind of do this and heat the skin up because we need that heat exchange for our oils and our pores to kind of open up. And and actually I'm doing it in circles, you're not supposed to. So I just go up and down and kind of go back and forth. If you have no idea what a fascia blaster is, go find her on Facebook. I love this little tool. And I go like this. I don't get any bruising from my fascia blaster because this mixture is actually what I use before I use my fascia blaster on my thighs. Okay, so I can tell I've heated the skin up a little bit more. I can feel the cinnamon and I can feel the wintergreen. So now I'm going to wipe my hands off a bit. I'm going to take my plastic get it out here, wrap it around my body, and I'm gonna try to do it as tight without tearing it, because that is easy to do with some of this really thin plastic. Oh, I didn't do too bad this time. Hopefully I have enough here. I think I might be using up the last of the roll. I feel like I need to use one of those things they use to wrap pallets. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I used to work at Home Depot, so I had to wrap pallets a lot there. Okay. And yeah, I have it down in my jeans. That's okay, because when I'm done here, I'm gonna kind of pull those pants down a bit and try and get that plastic in the right spot. But you guys don't get to see that. Okay, so I'm gonna tear that off. Now, pretty good. How's that? I feel like a can of biscuits. Okay, so then what I actually recommend is that you get a wider ace bandage, because they do make them wider. That's what I recommend. This is just what I had on hand, because this is what we used when my daughter broke her little foot last year. So I'm just gonna wrap that around in probably the most important area to keep it tight. I feel like you could do this when you go out and nobody would even know, because you actually don't hear the plastic. Okay. All right, so I'm wrapped. I got a rib sticking out there, but really the area I'm working on is this, but you can tell I've got most of my digestive tract wrapped up. So what it feels like right now for me is, well, number one, I can't really bend very well, so it's hard to bend, and I know this because when I was bending over to pick up toys, it was very difficult. So I'm very bound up, but it's not uncomfortable at all. And I'm feeling, right now the oils, I'm feeling warmth. And I think that's from the wintergreen and the cinnamon that's in the Slim and Sassy. So that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. Now, since I've been doing this for a while, I kind of know what it feels like later. So to let you know, so some of the oils that are in the Slim and Sassy, like cinnamon and the peppermint, because they're a little bit stronger, you may start to feel like a little itch. Because some of those stronger oils, when they get on your skin and it's causing a little bit of an irritation, it feels itchy. So it doesn't feel like it's burning you, it just feels really itchy. Okay, let me see if I've got any comments. Okay, no questions yet. So that's what it feels like, and I'd say about 2 hours. I get kind of tired of it. It's going to be very wet when you take it off, because the plastic does something very cool for you. I'm going to go ahead and put my shirt down. So when you put the plastic on, what we're actually doing and why we do that is we're preventing that evaporation that comes off from those essential oils. So we talk a lot about when we use essential oils topically, since they're volatile, while they absorb really quickly, they also evaporate off. So you're probably losing a certain percentage of the benefits or the maximum absorption of those essential oils. By putting the plastic on, I'm preventing that from happening. So all the oils are going into the stomach. My stomach is staying warm so my pores can open up, and there is a really fast absorption that takes place there. And because I'm not, like my skin is not breathing, it's making that absorption last a little bit longer, especially with that fractionated coconut oil. So it's really, when I get done and I take off that ace bandage, that plastic is really slick on my skin and I can turn it around, and you know, so that's why you need the ace bandage. Otherwise that plastic just starts to slide around and then it's not really working. So what I recommend that you do, if you're like a mom and you stay home like me, do it maybe when you're getting ready to clean your house, or stand at your kitchen and clean your kitchen, or you're getting ready to vacuum, or something like that, where you have like 2 hours where you stay really busy and you kind of forget that this is going on. Or maybe when you go, you know, do some exercise or something like that. I don't recommend doing it before you go to bed, but if you want to try it, go ahead. The reason why is because I actually find it a little bit uncomfortable to be sleeping with this on. Also, I find it to be a little bit too sensational because of the tingling that you're constantly feeling from it. But if you want to give it a try, I totally went to bed with it one time and I didn't get very good sleep that night. So that's why I don't do it that way. Okay, so do we have any questions? Okay, so obviously, if you don't have any kind of blaster tool, really just getting that heat exchange. So if you can do dry brushing beforehand or kind of get your blood circulating by rubbing your tissue, you know, anything like that. Just get that skin warmed up so it can work a little bit better. Hey, Crystal, how are you? So that is the Slim and Sassy wrap. I'm gonna stay here for just a little bit longer and see if I have any questions. Of course, if you're watching the replay, you can always post your questions later. And actually, I've had it on for a little bit. I'm starting to feel the coolness from the peppermint now, which is good because I'm hot. We try to keep our air up a little bit during the day. So I'm a little warm right now, especially with talking to you guys. Oh, I wanted to share with you the modified, like, other version that I use that's super strong, Slim and Sassy, which I did a video on this, gosh, maybe last summer? I'm not really sure. It wasn't recent. So what I do, it's same bottle, and this is not a particular, like specific recipe. It's just kind of like I eyeball this. What I do is I do cypress, grapefruit, and Slim and Sassy. I do a full bottle of Slim and Sassy, a full bottle of grapefruit, and half a bottle of cypress. And I put it in a spray bottle, and then I top it off, which actually would be this size. I top it off with fractionated coconut oil, and it's strong, okay? You can feel it's a lot stronger. So you can experiment with that a little bit more and see what you think. I did that a lot, and it's very invigorating. In fact, I had a funny story. I was driving to Salt Lake City to go to the doTERRA convention, which is actually coming up here this month, and I don't know, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, stopped at a gas station. I was tired, but I wanted to keep going for a little bit longer, so I used my Slim and Sassy spray because I had it with me, and I sprayed it on my tummy. I went to the bathroom at a gas station and sprayed it all over my tummy and rubbed it in really good, and it woke me up. I was invigorated. I made it another couple of hours before I stopped at a hotel. So that was another thing I noticed about that. It's really easy to, you know, wake yourself up. So Laverne, I will post the recipe in this thread, but it's also in the photos of the group as well. You can see it's like a picture of a woman with plastic wrapped around her belly with the recipe on the side. Yeah, so now I feel the cooling, I feel the warmth at the same time. And I'm feeling it all the way around my back and my stomach. So it takes a couple of minutes and you start to feel the sensation of those oils. It feels really good, actually. And by the way, I'm a nursing mom, and this has not affected my nurse supply at all, my milk supply. However, if you notice a difference in that, copaiba is a really good oil topically to help with the milk supply. So I know I might have a few nursing moms that are watching this. So Samuel's still 15 months. I'm still nursing him a few times a day. So I haven't had any kind of effects of that. And he hasn't noticed anything, like he doesn't seem to mind. And I've nursed him while I've had this on and he doesn't care. He doesn't touch it, so. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this live video. You can keep asking questions and I'll just answer them as they come. Have a great night.